it's Moogie here. Let's make the Glam Burger from Undertale. So this is the Glam Burger. The Glam Burger is one of 4 menu items the protagonist can purchase at the MTT brand Burger Emporium. Its item description is a hamburger made of edible glitter and sequins. Burger Pants, the vendor for the Burger Emporium, is also quoted to say that humans are always eating hamburgers made of sequins and glue. Blech. So, we're working with looks, location, and ingredients this time around. Starting off with ingredients, our recipe must contain sequins and glitter. Sequins and glitter are common craft items typically made from plastic and metals. This makes them unfit for human consumption. However, there are edible varieties. For our recipe, we'll be using edible glitter, known as luster dust, and Quinn sprinkles, edible replicas of their craft counterparts. Moving on to location, MTT brand Burger Emporium is a fast food establishment whose brand colors are yellow and red. Their logo is an MTT featured on their uniforms, wallpaper, and signage. And Undertale was also made by an American indie developer. From this, we can draw the conclusion that the restaurant is loosely based on McDonald's. And the look of the burger supports this theory, comparing the Glam Burger to other signature fast food burgers. The Big Mac from McDonald's is the only burger where all the toppings are on the bottom, just like the Glam Burger, so we'll be making a Big Mac style burger. Continuing with the looks of the burger, the Glam Burger buns are a very light purple. While we could achieve this with food dye is not tasty. So, to get the coloring, we're going to be making our buns with ube/purple potatoes. I am not a chef, nor a human. I am a novice when it comes to making burgers, so we're using recipes made by real human chefs. Our first recipe is from Amy's Cooking. We're going to be making the buns from her recipe, but in Amy's recipe, she also adds an ube cream to the center. Go check out her video, link in the description below, to try making it the right way. Before we start, I have another confession. I did not end up using these in the final recipe. I messed up some things, they didn't turn out the way I was hoping, so if you want to skip ahead, there's a timestamp in the description. They were really tasty though, and I might make them again in a future recipe. For this recipe, you'll need 430 grams of bread flour, 135 milliliters of coconut milk, 100 grams of ube, 70 grams of sugar, 30 grams of unsalted butter, 1 large egg at room temperature, 5 grams of salt, and 10 grams of yeast. I added some edible luster dust. I used purple and white and silver. Also, we're using bread machine yeast for this. I don't know if rapid rise will work the same way. Finally, we're going to add some white, black, and purple quins to this, and the second recipe. This is the smallest amount I could find online, and I had to pick out all the colors I needed. First, we're going to wash and peel our ube. My caterpillar was eager for a carnage. One of my ubes had spoiled, so we were down to one, and it had some nice color on the outside, so I thought it would work well. We steamed the ube in the Instant Pot in 1.5 cups of water, and setting it on manual for 15 minutes after some struggle. While that steamed, we added our bread flour, salt, and sugar to our stand mixer bowl. I also added in some luster dust so the inside of the buns would be glittery. It doesn't show up well on camera, but the mixture was pretty sparkly throughout after a thorough whisk. Next, we heated our milk in the microwave for 20 seconds, adding a teaspoon of sugar and our yeast to the milk, whisking to combine, then covering it with cling wrap, my kitchen nemesis. I set that aside for 5 minutes so the yeast could bloom. Once our ube finished steaming, we released the remaining steam from the Instant Pot, transferred the ube to a heat-safe bowl. I mashed the ube, and this is when I began to doubt if this was going to be purple enough. I was happy that our surviving ube was at least 100 grams we needed for the recipe though. You're going to want to blend together the ube and coconut milk until mostly smooth, then we'll bring everything together. Freeing our yeast mixture from my mortal nemesis, we'll add it to the dry ingredients along with our egg and ube mixture. Then we'll pour in our melted butter and give it a quick mix before moving it over to the stand mixer. Don't be me. I was worried the buns wouldn't be the right color and added a few drops of red and blue food coloring to this stage. It might have turned out better if I had mixed the colors in with the liquid ingredients earlier. We moved the dough over to the stand mixer, attaching our dough hook, and let it run on high. My dough was really dry, so I kneaded it a little by hand between mixes. I also had not properly secured the bowl, so the whole thing kept flying off. When I pulled it out and started kneading it by hand, at this point the whole thing looked a fleshy pink with red and blue streaks looking like veins. Ugh, it was a mess. Not one to give up, we greased the bowl and left the dough to rise in a warm place for about half an hour. After that, we divided the dough into even pieces. I did roughly 80 grams a ball. Cover those in clear evil and leave it to rise again for 30 minutes. Once the dough is risen, bake it in the oven on 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. As you can see, when the buns came out, they were a toasty golden brown, and we needed them to be a light purple. So I added some luster dust and food coloring to some melted butter for the tops, which ended up being more of a gray-black than purple. If you guys have any food coloring tips, please leave me a comment down below. How does one get purple from primary colors, if not through blue and red? They were too small and the wrong color, so we had to start again. For our next recipe, we'll be using Joshua Weissman's best burger buns ever potato bun recipe, substituting in purple potatoes for the russet. There's a link to his recipe in the description if you'd like to make some potato buns of your own. Please give it a watch. For this recipe, you'll need 245 grams of whole milk, 55 grams of water, 7 grams of yeast, 50 grams of sugar, 575 grams of bread flour, 14 grams of sea salt, 25 grams of oil, 1 large egg, 1 egg yolk, 30 grams unsalted softened butter plus extra for brushing, and finally 120 grams of purple potato. You probably only need one, but I grabbed a few extra in case one was rotten. We'll also be adding the luster dust again, but just white and purple this time to avoid graying. Once again, we wash and peel our potatoes. Thank you for your service, Caterpillar. We put those in a pot of water and set them to boil. Then in a bowl of our stand mixer, we'll add flour, salt, and a lot more luster dust. Whisk that to combine. In a separate bowl, we combine our milk and water and heat that up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit before adding our sugar and yeast. Whisk that up and leave it to sit for 2 minutes. Our potatoes had been boiling for a little over 20 minutes when we transferred them to a heat-safe bowl. We mashed up our potatoes and ran them through a sieve for that Papa-approved texture. I had to get a larger sieve, and I ended up with more potatoes than I needed, but I thought it would improve the color, so we used all 153 grams. Bringing everything over to our stand mixer, we set it on low speed and slowly began adding our yeast mixture. I turned off the mixture to add our potatoes, eggs, and oil, then set it to mix for 5 minutes. Then we added in our softened butter and let it run for another 3 minutes. The dough was very sticky, but we transferred it into a greased bowl and covered it in plastic wrap so it could rise for an hour and a half. We found out in the last episode that the camera does not like the grill, so we filmed Eric grilling the burgers from inside. No special recipe for the burger, you could use any pre-made or homemade patty. Once the dough finished rising, we had to punch it as is customary before separating it into roughly 100-gram balls. We got about 11 out of this recipe. We covered them in our nemesis and let them rise again for 20 minutes. They poofed up really well, and we had a few that could make the final burger. We baked those in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, then brushed them with our glittery melted butter and topped them with our quins. They were still more brown than I would have liked, but it's pretty close, right? Before plating these up, we had to mix up some MTT brand burger sauce. Big Mac sauce. Combine 2 scoops of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, garlic powder, dried onions, pepper, salt, and a scoop of relish. Sauce is about measuring with your feelings, so whatever feels right is the right way. I also added in some yellow luster dust for more sparkle. Finally, it was time to plate our burger. We cut the bun, laid down our sauce, pickles, green luster dust, yellow luster, lettuce, more green luster, our burger patty, red and black luster, a little bit more sauce, and crown the burger, adding purple and white luster dust to finish. It's safe to say that this is mostly glitter. Now let's see how it turned out.
Hey, what's up, gamers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be eating the Glam Burger made by...
Mookie.
Can I say that? No?
Yeah, you can say that. I'll
Okay.
just bleep it out later.
Today we're going to be eating Glam Burger. My name's Anthony. This is Brian.
This is Nan. Yeah, she couldn't make it today, so sitting in for Nan is a substitute, but you don't know who Nan is yet, so come back and you'll find out on another episode. Well, I guess we should get into it.
3,
Ready?
2, 1. Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, very nice.
That is the sparkliest burger I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
Let's compare it to a photo. That
It
is glittery.
Yeah, glittery.
It's
It's
got
got
the
some sprinkles and stuff on it.
I like it. I like it.
I see some.
The
I see
lettuce
some
is on the
green.
bottom. Very accurate.
Yeah. The
Okay.
patty looks red.
The bun is purple.
This time I didn't see this one in the process. I wasn't grilling anything this time, so
The
I
lettuce
didn't
has
see it
sparkles
beforehand. Yeah, the lettuce does have some sparkles on it. Anthony, I haven't played this game, so you have to tell me: is this accurate to the Glam Burger in the video game when you saw it? I mean, I know I have a picture back here, but like, you know more about this than I do.
Yeah, no, this looks pretty accurate. I never finished the final boss fight because I lost my save file.
Oh.
I'm gonna get back to it.
Our expert is absent.
What about you, Nan? Well, you heard it here. All right. Well, bottoms up.
Does the burger have sparkles in it?
So there's glitter on top of the burger patty. There's red glitter, definitely. It's a good burger.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely.
The sprinkles bring an interesting sweetness to it.
I didn't really get any sprinkles. I'm gonna go back in for a second bite.
There's some sort of sauce in here.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to imitate the Big Mac, so we have Big Mac sauce. It's the only fast food burger that has all the pieces on the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay. I like it. It's an interesting mix of burger and icing.
Was there a green sauce on here?
There's green glitter on the pickles and the lettuce, and there is yellow glitter on the sauce.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty glamorous.
Well, do you feel like you've been healed?
I certainly do. I'm filled with determination.
Well, there we go. We're healed and we're ready to get back out there to fight more flowers. I admit I don't know anything about this game aside from I see that there's an evil flower sometimes.
There is an evil flower. His name is Flowey. So I mean, you were like one syllable away from being
creative,
correct.
very creative. Well, burger was delicious. I definitely would say that it looks like the burger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to eat the rest of this.
I am going to eat the rest of this. It's
I would.
gonna be my dinner.
I would recommend that if you have any chefing skills, you make it and you let us know how it tastes.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have a recipe to post online or something? All right, check back for the recipe later.
Well, thanks everybody.
And see you next time.
So our Glam Burger was a success. I do wish our buns had come out a little more purple. Maybe I'll try the sweeter bun recipe again now that I've learned a thing or two about making bread. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that in a future episode, or if you try to make your own at home. Share the love around the internet and go check out the great creators I got these recipes from. Links in the description below. So, go make fantasy reality. All you gotta do is click start. Until next time, gamers, Mookie logging out.